Hello, everybody. I'm Jeff, and today we're going to be talking about a film that's getting a lot of attention these days, a film called Lady Bird, and you're going to get to hear Father Muir's impressions of that film. Father Muir, have you seen the film Lady Bird?
I have seen the film Lady Bird, and obviously it's getting a lot of attention. I think won a Golden Globe for a Best Picture, and Saoirse Ronan, the Irish actress, amazing in it. I liked it a lot, so if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, I'm going to tell you how it ends. But so it's a coming-of-age story about a teenage senior. She's going to a Catholic school in Sacramento. So it had my attention immediately.
Did you know I used to teach in an all-girls Catholic high school?
I don't recall that. So, especially Catholic girls' schools are near and dear to your heart.
Absolutely.
This school is boys and girls, and it's in Sacramento. You know, it's a coming-of-age story of a high school girl in 2003. I related to it, not only the Dave Matthews music in it, but also just the struggles I think any teenage person could. You know, it's the struggle with friends, the sort of the ups and downs of romantic relationships. Her relationship with her mom is really central to the story. Let me go all the way back actually to a 2nd century church father, if you can believe it. Oh, yeah. So St. Irenaeus says he had a great understanding of the human person as sort of spiritual teenagers. Some theologians would look at like the fall of the human race in Adam and Eve, where we had all of our intellect and will, and we chose to go against God. But that wasn't the case for St. Irenaeus. For him, it was more like Adam and Eve were like teenagers, not quite fully mature, but in some self-possession. And it was kind of like the fall of man for Irenaeus was kind of like an awkward teenage mess up, you know? And now in the movie, the main character's name is Christine McPherson. She has, a typical teenage fight with her mom, and she's so mad at her mom for kind of resisting her that she opens up the door of the moving car and throws herself out, and then she breaks her arm, So for the whole movie, she's got this pink cast on. And it's really a sign, I think, of that spiritual immaturity. I mean, throwing yourself out of a moving car because you're so mad at your mom, yeah. But I thought there's original sin in Irenaeus' mind. As the movie progresses, she kind of does a sort of typical rejection of her mom and wants to go to school in New York and gets there. So she leaves Sacramento, California, goes all the way to New York. She still wants to call herself Lady Bird. Her real name is Christine, but she doesn't want that, right? She doesn't want to be called what her parents named her. She wants to name herself. When she gets to New York, her heart kind of goes through another deeply painful experience, and she kind of runs into a church. And there in the church, she hears this choir singing, and it's beautiful. It's like this moment of this encounter with God, kind of. And she walks out of the church, and she picks up her cell phone, and she calls her mom, leaves a message. Hi, Mom, I just want to say thank you. And I thought to myself, there's the spiritual maturity that Irenaeus is talking about. So he had this famous line that St. Irenaeus did that the glory of God is the human person fully alive. So for him that meant in relationship to God. God's not our rival, just the way, but we're tempted to think that, right? So we're all spiritual teenagers. Just like a teenager is always going to think mom and dad's like my rival, they hate me. No, they don't hate you, even in their imperfections. So multiply that by infinity. And what does Irenaeus see? But a spiritually mature person has moved beyond this teenage state of Adam and Eve, suspicion about God. God doesn't want what's good for me. And now I can stand in an attitude, even in pain and suffering, of thanks and praise to God. Just like Lady Bird, who, by the way, allows herself to be called Christine, right? Which is, of course, from the name of Christ. She's allowed to be a beloved daughter, a beloved child. And there's the Christian maturity that I think we're talking about. But if you're interested in this deeper question of any person becoming spiritually mature, which is relating to God as a beloved son or a beloved daughter, then I think you'll like Lady Bird as a great movie.
Wonderful. I think I'll see it.
Good.